Welcome back to the Us vs. Them channel. I'm your host, Vince, and we're going to break down the co-main event for the upcoming UFC 321 this weekend. We got Virna Jandiroba versus Mackenzie Dern. Right now, Jandiroba is sitting at about a plus 126, and Dern is sitting at about a minus 154. So we're pretty close to a pick'em fight here. Before we get into the breakdown, if I can just remind you guys to hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel and all that bullshit. We really appreciate that, and thanks for watching the video, guys. So let's get into this breakdown. We have seen recently as Mackenzie Dern has gotten more comfortable with her striking, she's starting to look to kind of impose her will a little bit on fighters, especially fighters that are about her size or smaller. I think Jandiroba is probably going to be a little bit smaller in this fight, so I think early on in this fight, we're going to see Mackenzie Dern looking to go forward, pressure heavy, look to lean on her striking, even though like we all know that she's a high-level grappler and all that bullshit. But she's going to be looking to lean on her striking, I think, early on in this fight, and probably going to be looking to land some damage in the striking. Like I said, I think she's going to be a buzzsaw forward, and she's not going to be looking to respect much of what's coming back her way with Jandiroba. And I don't really think that she necessarily has to respect Jandiroba that much because she's not really known for her big concussive power in her hands or her feet. We have seen Jandiroba on a really nice win streak. I think her win streak is on like something like 6 or something like that in a row. So, you know, as far as the streaks, recent win streaks, that's definitely favoring Jandiroba. But when you look at her win streaks and start breaking down some of that film study, you're going to realize that she definitely leans more on her wrestling and her jiu-jitsu to win some of those fights. That's going to be really tricky for her to do against Mackenzie Dern. Obviously, Mackenzie Dern is super high level with her striking, or with her grappling. Her jiu-jitsu, I think she's a world champion or some shit like that. And when you break down their first fight, that was where Mackenzie Dern found her success. When they found themselves in the scrambles, Mackenzie Dern always kind of, not always, but she found a lot of ways to finish on top, finish in dominant positions, and she also had the bigger threats on the submissions in that fight. She didn't score a submission in that fight, but just a good threat of a submission counts in the scorecards, and that's probably what swung her the win and the first time these girls fought. But even though Mackenzie Dern won the last one, I think it's important to note that, you know, of the two fighters, I think it's pretty obvious that Jandiroba is probably the more improved fighter of the two. They fought, I think, somewhere in December of 2020 or something like that. So it's been a long time. It's been almost 5 years since they fought the first time. A lot can happen in a span of an MMA career in 5 years. This is a type of, obviously, sport where you can go up really fast or go down really fast. So since then, we've seen Mackenzie Dern lose some fights. We've seen her lose. I'm just going to read it to you guys because my memory is dog shit. But we saw her lose to Marina Rodriguez, who's somebody that Jandiroba has since beat. We've lost Dern lose to Jean Jianan. That's another person that Jandiroba beat. She's also lost to Jessica Andrade and Amanda Lemos. Amanda Lemos, somebody that Jandiroba has beat as well. So even though they have a head-to-head matchup where it's favoring more towards Mackenzie Dern, when you start to compare past opponents after that matchup, it's really starting to lean towards Jandiroba. I think both these girls are probably pretty evenly matched, whether it's on their feet or on the ground. I think Mackenzie Dern maybe has a slight edge on the ground, and I think Jandiroba, as the fight starts to go on, will probably carry a slight edge in the striking. So it's really kind of hard to pick on this one. So you kind of have to start to get to the intangibles of the fight, and you start to look at, you know, kind of whose trajectory is on the path to being a champion, who's kind of in the headlines carrying themselves like somebody who's going to be the champion of the world. And I've been going really back and forth on this one, but I'm starting to lean towards Jandiroba as we get closer to the fight. You know, she just has been really consistent recently. She's on like I said, the 6-fight win streak. She's got a lot of finishes during that streak. She's beating a lot of girls that are coming off wins from Mackenzie Dern. I think early in this fight, we're going to see Dern's really pressure, really push the pace, and I think it's really tangible, really logical for Mackenzie Dern to win the first round. But the later this fight starts to go on, I think it's going to start to favor Jandiroba. I think the round 2 is probably going to be the pivotal round. It's going to be the round that decides who's going to win this fight. And I just, you know, it's kind of a coin flip. So, you know, on this channel, we're just riding with Jandiroba on this one. So for my official prediction, I'm going Virna Jandiroba by decision. That's it for this breakdown. Stop by for the next one where you have Umar Nurmagomedov versus Mario Bautista. That's going to be a really good opportunity. I really do think that's going to be a good opportunity for us to win some money this weekend. Stop by for that official breakdown and all that shit. And that's all I got for you guys. So I'm the fuck out of here.